Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description. Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome to Going In Raw Dirt Sheet, the only place you need to be going for your pro wrestling news. We scour the dirt sheets and conglomerate the good news here. Not always good news, just the salient news.
The news.
Salient?
The news that you need to hear.
Yeah, that's it. Necessary news.
Yes.
Right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. YouTube's been unsubscribing some of our people. We do hear tell that people have been unsubscribed unceremoniously from YouTube. And we're also wherever fine podcasts are available. And we're also on Patreon at patreon.com/Steven Larson. Oh boy, we've had a flurry of Patreon activity. You know, with all this YouTube adpocalypse business, Larson, it's always great to get some wonderful support from the pro wrestling community, from the Going In Raw community.
Yes.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, you know what? I like whenever PBS starts off by saying this is supported listeners like you.
Yeah.
Right?
Viewers. PBS.
Viewers like you. I like to say that Going In Raw is supported in part by viewers
like you.
Like you. Friendos like you.
Yes. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is, it's trying times with a lot of, we don't like to bitch about it. We don't like to complain about it. You know, we go about our business. We got this Patreon and it's a fantastic thing.
Yes.
We've got a lot of great reward tiers. We're going to be kicking those up a notch come June.
June 1.
June 1, we're going to be changing our Patreon, but basically we're just going to be adding a bunch of crap to really try to give you guys what?
Best value.
Best value. So thanks a lot. And because we hit over 1,000 patrons, we're going to be doing a live reaction stream of Backlash,
yes,
with pizza.
Well, because we crossed $5,000 in total monthly contributions.
Yeah,
we're not just having any pizza.
We're not just having Little Caesars, which would be the plan. Is because look, you know what? Say what you about Little Caesars. You go in there, you give them $5.
It's hot and ready. You give them your $5, you get pizza right away. There's no waiting.
There's no waiting for that pizza. With Roundtable, though, we're going to be giving Roundtable a lot more money.
You pay a premium, but you get what you pay for.
The funny thing is, and I forget who said this on the Twitter, but they said $5,000. Are you sure you can afford Roundtable? It's so expensive.
You know, I like Roundtable a lot.
Yeah.
I don't understand why a pizza costs $30. Still don't get that.
Well, let's run down the ingredients.
Well, it depends what you get.
It's bread, cheese, and
tomato sauce with toppings.
With toppings. They gotta afford all those. Oh, they deliver them in Maseratis, though.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
That's what it is.
Anyways, Roundtable, good pizza. That's what we're getting on a Sunday to treat. I guess treat ourselves.
Yeah, no, as you know what, as thanks,
as a celebration.
Yeah, it's a celebration, man. You know, the better mood we're in, the better our live stream reactions will be. And we're thinking of the live stream is going to be open to everybody because we're going to do it on the YouTube. However, we're thinking of something we can do. We have
special for
the patrons to make the live stream reaction experience special for them because you guys are the ones who have been kicking in and supporting the show, and we really, really appreciate it. So it's really fantastic. I love it. We have such a great community.
We do.
You guys are cracking me up on the Twitter at Real Going In Raw every single day. Your video questions are great.
Yeah.
Your regular questions are great. So thanks so much for that.
Yes.
And so we're just looking for things that we can do more for you guys. We're also at ProWrestlingTees.com,
where we now have 10 designs.
Is it too much to ask that we show your design? Because I think everything up until now has been me.
No, I did Fun Wrestling.
Oh, well, yeah, the iconic Fun Wrestling shirt, the one that you're wearing right now. But you did a new design, so you comprise 20% of the designs.
Yeah,
so that's
up
from 10%.
I have another one in the works,
and another one. So you're looking to really get into the
and
pie. Another
one that I know what I want to do. I have to get started on it.
I figured out what I want to do for the stretch shirt.
Oh, what?
So I have one. Well, I'll show it to you. It's kind of a rip off of another design, but that's kind of my thing.
Which design?
I'll tell you at some point. It's good. I like it though. So we got that on the road. So yeah, prowrestlingtees.com/going in raw. Can we put you cut this show? Can we now show your shirt here?
I was going to show it when you initially said I should show it.
Oh, okay.
It's already been shown.
Well, now it's 2 times.
Well, we'll see about that. Let's move on to the news.
Okay.
That's what people tune in the show to hear is news.
They look at our thumbnail, they click, they see a couple of ugly faces instead of, they clicked on the picture of Paige. Is she done in the WWE? Word is maybe. Possibly.
Well, she's still recuperating.
With one huge caveat.
Yeah, she's still recuperating from neck surgery, so it's hard to know whether she would, with that being the case, whether she'd be on TV or not.
Mm-hmm.
But in a recent episode of Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer mentioned that if it weren't for Fighting with My Family, the Paige biopic.
Produced by The Rock.
Correct. That Paige probably wouldn't be used again in the WWE. Now, I think, if I remember correctly, she's under contract till 2018 or 2019.
Right.
So it's at least another year-ish under contract that even if they were to cut ties with her, I don't believe she'd be able to go out and wrestle for another promotion.
Yeah.
That's my understanding.
They would just sort of keep her in limbo until her contract was expired.
Yes. Or what they might do is not release her, but keep her under contract, just not utilize her in any way.
Who is the producer behind the movie Fighting with My Family?
The Rock.
The Rock, that's correct. So I kind of think that the only reason she's still around is because I mean, I wonder if The Rock hadn't brought this to them. Like they're in this business, they're doing this movie, I'm pretty sure, just because The Rock brought it to them. That's my gut feeling. Because otherwise, why would they do this movie? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the timing of it all seemed odd considering she was on the outs with the company.
Like her boyfriend seems to do nothing but get drunk, get on Periscope, and talk crap about the guy with the big nose, Triple H. He talks crap about WWE. She has seemingly done everything she can to sort of distance herself from the WWE and indicate that she wants out. There's all sorts of rumors and speculation about her lawyering up to try to get out of her contract, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm not saying that I know any of that is true. I know that I've seen the Alberto Del Rio Patreon where he does, or Patreon. Patreon. Well, he's working for Impact, so that might be a thing. Periscope, where he did, he was seemingly intoxicated and seemingly called out the WWE. He might not have been intoxicated. I don't know. So, I mean, this isn't model behavior for a company person, is my point. So why would they want to put up with this? Well, because they're making a movie about her. Why would they be making a movie about her if she's acting this way? Well, they really like The Rock, and The Rock is the biggest star. He's probably going to be our president soon, and why not stay on his good side?
Yeah.
So produce this movie with him. He's going to have a cameo as himself in it. It's got Vince Vaughn in it, so that's good. So yeah, I mean, but I don't know that this doesn't necessarily mean, like, is she going to be in the ring again?
I would think.
I mean, this was such a. It would look. We're talking about such a throwaway line that Dave Meltzer muttered.
Oh yeah.
So this isn't like there's not a lot of substance here, but we can go off of what he said. He has his inside people. So, does this mean she's going to be around for promotional appearances?
Yeah, and is she going to wrestle?
Is she? I mean, there's two sort of things
to coincide with the release of this movie because it's not slated for release until 2018. I think they just recently completed principal photography on it. So you got to assume at least 6 months of editing and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Vince is big on putting money and business ahead of personal grudges or whatever. So whatever she's done that has pissed people off or might have pissed people off is going to be sort of, null and void, pending the sort of promotion and release of this movie.
Yeah.
So they can get that out of the way. Depending on how things go during the promotion of the movie and the release of the movie itself and how that's treated and how she feels she's treated, I would assume would play out whether or not she's going to be staying with them long term,
Yeah, Paige's contract expires in 2019.
That's a ways off.
So a year and a half
They
more.
Control her wrestling destiny.
Yeah, for at least a year and a half, if not more.
Now, I mean, she's super young. She has probably a lot of options ahead of her. But that's a long time to be out of the spotlight of the industry under which you made your name.
It'd be nice to think that she's out recuperating from surgery. So she's going to be on the shelf for a little bit. Maybe they hold her off TV until the promotional push starts for this movie. Maybe he'll offer a reset button for all parties involved.
Yeah, that's sort of the best case scenario.
They get a fresh start. They can kind of, patch up their differences and move on, at least until Paige's contract expires. And then if she still at that time feels like this is not a place she wants to be, she can move on and they can move on.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, as we've seen with the WWE...
To be hopeful about it, it'd be nice to think, okay, go your separate ways for a while, reconvene when the movie's coming out, and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the old, there's a couple of old cliches, time heals all wounds, and that's, not just physical, but if you think about the WWE and how they brought back seemingly there's nobody that's really of import to the industry that they could do business with that's still holding out besides like CM Punk. But that's still a pretty fresh wound. But everybody else, like Warrior, everybody else, they really sort of came back to and said, hey, let's do some big Goldberg, let's do some business together. And so I think that, like you're saying, that this could be the opportunity for a reset button. And, another old cliche, winning solves everything. If the movie does well, it's got The Rock behind it. So it's got that going for it. He's going to be in the trailer. So if the movie does well and she's feeling good physically and mentally is in a good spot, then maybe good things will happen. She seems to be. Did her and Alberto did they get married?
I don't think so.
I know they were talking about it and they were kind of trolling people about it, and I don't know if it actually happened.
I don't know if it happened either.
I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They seem to still be a very strong couple. And I don't know what influence he might have over the whole thing because he does seem to have some issues with the WWE. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Stay off Periscope, Alberto. The new Global Force Wrestling champion.
Anyway, let's talk about CM Punk. You mentioned him a little bit ago.
Yeah, CM
and about
Punk.
Whether he's going to return to the wrestling ring for a lot of money.
A lot of money. The Sun recently reported that British promotion 5 Star Wrestling. Weren't we part of the 5 Star Wrestling family? No, we were part of 5 Star. What was the softball sponsor?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Anyways, 5 Star Wrestling in England has offered CM Punk $1 million to take part in their 128-man tournament that happens on June 10th. What are they going to pay the other guys? $100 each for 120.
I don't know.
What the heck?
5 Stars promoter Daniel Hinkles stated that, quote, "We've been trying to contact CM Punk on and off for well over a year. All this is great. For well over a year, I've tried going through friends in the industry. I've gone through his website and sent dozens of emails, but the opportunity has never been this big.
It's a genuine offer.
We'd love to hear back from the man himself. We want to do this with him." He continues, "I know he is seemingly focused on MMA at the moment.
That's so condescending.
And this wouldn't have to end that, but wrestling is in his blood, and $1 million has to be worth thinking about."
Yeah.
Okay, what are the odds he comes back?
The bigger question is
June 10th. That's 3 weeks.
That's pretty close. But he's been training for MMA anyway, so he's probably in still great shape
for MMA.
He doesn't need to wrestle for. He doesn't need to train for wrestling. Give me a break. The question isn't what are the odds that he's going to come back, because they're slim to none.
Yes,
we know that. I mean,
yes,
they're none.
Basically none.
But I guarantee you, the odds of him coming back to this are probably better than him coming back to the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
Because he would love, I think he would get a big kick out of rubbing it in somebody's face. But if he did, it would probably be Ring of Honor.
I think it'd be New Japan.
Or PW. I could see PWG. I could see PWG.
He's spoken so much in the last couple of years when talking about wrestling. He always brings up New Japan.
Yeah.
So I would be shocked if
Wrestle Kingdom 12, Wrestle Kingdom 13 or 14, Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. I can see that shit happening.
I would not be surprised if he were to come back for it to be in New Japan.
Yeah.
So I took a look. When Punk left WWE, we read some stuff about how he was fairly financially secure.
Yeah.
So he,
well, he's a smart guy.
Yeah, he could walk away from WWE and not worry about having to get a regular paycheck, at least not right away.
Yeah.
And I took a look to find out how much CM Punk made for getting beat up at UFC 203.
Made a lot of money.
He
Was
did.
it 203 or 205?
Well, I saw 203 in the thing I looked at.
Maybe you're right. Maybe
it
you're
is
right.
203. Yeah.
Okay.
And so just his purse was $500,000,
Ooh.
and that's not including any pay-per-view buy bonus, which could have elevated it a lot more than that.
No, that's a really big sum. That's generally, like, in terms of, I don't know if you looked at this at all, and I can take kind of an educated guess in terms of being on par with, I'm not going to say, I'm saying like being on par with any of the like other main event guys.
Oh, I think in this, I found this Fightful article.
I would assume it's not at obviously Conor McGregor
levels
or Johnny Bones Jones levels, or even Ronda Rousey. She's like the highest, one of the highest paid people.
Yeah.
But I know it's like way over like his station in the card. I think Mickey Gall probably got like 25,000 or something.
Yeah.
He got like nothing. But that doesn't even include the $500,000 purse. Doesn't include what he could have made from pay-per-view buys, which you read was like what $2.50.
That's what someone speculated was that every pay-per-view buy above, I think the threshold I saw in here was 250,000. They would get X number of dollars. And at one site, not the Fightful one, they speculated, or they said, if it was $2.50, it seems kind of high.
Yeah.
Per buy over 250, and it sold, I don't know, like 500,000.
Yeah.
$500,000,
it exceeded expectations quite a bit.
That he could have made anywhere from another 500,000 to over 600,000.
So he could have had like about $1 million, like a cool $1 million off of that.
Yeah.
So, and that's sort of like his, that was where his heart was and probably still is. So
he's made that pretty evident that he wants to continue fighting.
Yeah.
And then Dana White has insinuated that it's possible that his next fight could still be in UFC even after his first fight, saying that probably wouldn't be the case.
Here's my thing about it. I would think this: CM Punk will never come back because somebody rolls up the Brinks truck. That's not going to be it at all. He will come back. He would sooner come back for $50 for the night if it's.
Or he'd come back to help Buddy out or something like that and not get paid at all.
That's way more likely to happen. Because I think that he's not just because of the UFC, but I think the dude, he's got a good head on his shoulders. I think Kevin Nash once said, yeah, I mean, I think he's invested his money really well. He lives in like a condo, I think he lives probably smart and frugal and, so I don't think that he's hurting for money at all. I don't think waving a check, at him is going to be the thing that coerces him to come back.
I think it would be the experience of doing something different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is, from all indications, seems to be
all
why
about,
he joined the UFC in the first place.
He seems to be about scratching itches that he has,
yes.
And that's great. That's awesome. To be able to afford that is absolutely a luxury and should be everybody's dream.
Yes.
I would love to see him come back. I would love to see him come back at this British 128-man tournament. I know. It'd be fantastic. Probably not going to happen, though.
Nope.
Let's talk about New Japan.
Yeah. So on...
Are we going to we should do a video on the Super Juniors tournament. Are we going to have time to watch that?
I don't know.
A lot of wrestling.
It is a lot of wrestling.
I know.
Well, it's going on for the next...
I heard that Ospreay Ricochet match was amazing.
Yeah. It's going on for the next couple of weeks.
Oh, it's that long?
Yeah, because there's 2 blocks.
Oh, cool.
And it's round robin.
Okay.
And then I think maybe the top 4 from each block advance.
Okay.
And then it's single elimination from there.
All right. Well, maybe we'll do something on the finals. Or
something
like that. However that works.
We can kind of like I think the last 2, like the semifinals and the finals are probably 2 shows.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe what we can do is cover those in full.
Yeah.
And then touch upon some of the other highlights.
Yeah, that works.
We'll see what we have time for. But yeah, anyways, on May 16th, so Tuesday, New Japan Pro Wrestling owner Takaaki Kidani.
Takaaki Kidani.
That seems right?
Yeah,
okay.
That seems right.
He held a news conference and to discuss kind of what's in store for New Japan in the coming years.
Yeah.
And so here are a few highlights. New Japan is projecting sales for 2017 at 3.7 billion yen, which is about
It's like $500 trillion
US.
US.
It's about $33 million US.
Still a lot.
With projections for 2018 at 4.5 billion yen, which is about $40 million.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, that is gross. That's not net. That's before expenses.
Yes.
Okay. Because WWE, their expenses are like huge,
but they also make a lot of money.
Their gross is slightly huger.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a little bit. And Kadani talked about wanting to, in his words, maximize the earning potential of each wrestler, with the idea that it would allow wrestlers to make more money while working fewer dates.
The style, yeah. I mean, we had a question of
how they would react to Shibata's injury, essentially.
Right. And it didn't seem like there was, I mean, in the few matches we've seen since then, we haven't seen like a distinct, differing a style. Like apparently the Omega Ishii match, which I still haven't seen.
It was pretty stiff.
Really good, but I heard it was really stiff too. So I don't know if they're going to, I mean, they have to be keenly aware that, hey, these guys are putting their bodies at risk. And I honestly think New Japan would prefer to put on the highest quality match, and that would necessitate fewer dates. We saw after Wrestle Kingdom, Kenny Omega took, I mean, granted, he was sort of looking at...
He took about a month and a half off.
Yeah, he was looking at his options, but I think he would have taken that time off anyways.
Yeah.
And then when they brought him back, it was kind of slow. They had him in some tag matches, and then he had his first singles match, I think, in the New Japan Cup
against Ishii.
Tournament against Ishii. So that's good. They want, they want to make sure that the big shows are quality matches and they're not killing their guys.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. He also mentioned that New Japan does about 1/5 to 1/4 of the merchandise sales of the WWE.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think the WWE does a lot in merch sales.
They do. Also, there's a goal of hitting 100,000 subscribers for New Japan World. They're currently at 50,000, with roughly, I think, about 10,000 being from outside of Japan. And I found this interesting. 200,000 viewers on their Access broadcast.
How does that compare to Impact?
That's a good question.
Impact ratings, because I want to say they're hovering around the 300,000 mark. 2017 wrestling. Impact rating, April 20th. Let's just take a look at April 20th. 300,000. So New Japan is kind of knocking at the door in a respect. I mean, it's not like New Japan is at 50,000 in there.
Yeah.
200,000 is pretty.
It is pretty good.
That's pretty decent considering I don't watch them on Access. I watched on the streaming app.
Yeah, and the Access stuff are replays.
Yeah, they're replays. Exactly.
I think they're going to finally start broadcasting live for the G1 shows in Long Beach.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're going to broadcast those two shows live. Also touched on was the idea of doing more live streamed content, both from New Japan, of course, but also from promotions aligned with New Japan, like Ring of Honor, Revolution Pro, and CMLL, which would be kind of neat.
That'd be great.
And it'd be interesting if they could do that before WWE starts, trying to get Progress, ICW, and these other promotions they've been in talks with as far as licensing their content for the network. Also, United States-based New Japan subsidiary looks to be coming next year, 2018, with the product being presented as is. So I assume in the same style as New Japan, because he also talks about bringing a Japanese-style touring promotion to the United States. And then the plan is to work with United States-based promotions to help develop new talent.
That sounds fun.
What do you think the odds are? What I'm curious about is pretty much if any New Japan talent that wrestles in New Japan now, solely in Japan. Are they going to bring them over to the States
to wrestle solely in the States,
or primarily
primarily in the States?
Because I don't know,
leave their main roster to come down to like their U.S. subsidiary.
At least because we know that New Japan talent will go on excursions. So maybe not exactly young lions, but up and coming talent. Maybe their excursion, instead of going to CMLL or Ring of Honor, is coming to their New Japan U.S. subsidiary.
Yeah, I think it's very likely. I mean, I think it's definitely. I mean, I'm trying to think I'm trying to recall sort of who in their sort of wrestler hierarchy would fit that bill. Like, who would you see? Because it'd be difficult for me to think that they would send any of their top 4 guys.
I mean, I wouldn't think that would happen.
Yeah,
they wouldn't send Okada or Naito or Tanahashi or Omega.
Yeah, I don't see any of those guys coming over. But you go down further down the list, you have like Juice Robinson. He's sort of vying for the IC title. He just lost his bid for the IC title. I mean, you have Cody Rhodes who could easily do sort of both.
Yeah, but he might sign full-time.
Oh, he was looking at Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor,
he was looking at Ring of
Which,
Honor.
you know, wouldn't preclude him from wrestling with New Japan
but I would imagine,
on occasion. Yeah,
no, I would imagine like they would want a guy under contract mainly to them to do that. I don't know.
Because I think that's
loose explosion here in the United States.
That would be the most interesting thing to see is their U.S. based subsidiary primarily going to be composed of wrestlers from the States?
Mm-hmm. Is it going to be like their NXT, or is it going to be like their version? Let's say if WWE establishes that UK territory, is it going to be like that? Yeah. I would think if it's going to be more like that, then you'd probably see guys like. See, I don't know if they would send Japanese wrestlers over who don't know the English language, or if they would want to develop and have a relationship with, like, if they'd want to bring over U.S. guys who sort of work the Japanese style. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know what it is. I don't even know what they would call it. If it would still be if it would be branded New Japan. It's a U.S. subsidiary. Usually subsidiaries are kind of their own thing. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, you'd think, look, if they have 50,000 New Japan, like people, those New Japan shows sold out so quickly.
Yeah.
People want New Japan.
Yes.
So whatever the U.S. subsidiary should be, they should brand it New Japan.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
But also, I think those shows sold it so quickly, not only because it's branded New Japan, because first of all, people like that style of wrestling, but also people like the talent.
Yeah.
So I know those shows in Long Beach sold out quickly.
Right.
I think in the same press conference, he talked about the first block of tickets selling out in about 2 hours. And they, a few weeks later, they had a couple other tickets.
Yeah.
And those sold out in a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
But will they get the same reaction to their subsidiary if all they really retained was the branding, essentially?
Well, okay, here's the thing, though. There's an element of, I get what you're saying, but you associate the talent, the style of wrestling with, oh, that's New Japan stuff. And so I think there is an element of it's New Japan. I trust them because I've seen what they can do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and, I mean, that's a lot more likely for people to buy in than if they completely rebranded it and then you have to sort of figure out, oh, this is a New Japan thing. Like, I would think that the New Japan name would carry with it a certain level of trust that, okay, I know the style of wrestling I'm going to get, and it might not have the same talent, but I trust that they're going to give us talent that's sort of on par with what I've already seen.
Yeah, I would still think, though, that
there would have to be some crossover, though.
Yeah, there would have to be, especially in the early stages.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until they can develop talent that is enough of a draw to draw on its own.
Japanese style touring promotion in the States. Yeah, I mean, I would think in the first year or two they would need to bring. I mean,
some well-known New Japan veterans over on occasion for shows,
on occasion,
for tours,
exactly, like quarterly or something like that.
Yeah,
I could.
And a lot of it depend too on their touring schedule. If it's once a month they do a 2-week.
I love that they have a
West
plan.
Coast swing. I know.
And here's also, this is one thing. Look, if they're watching this, I hope they are, because I'm pretty sure they are. We need a proper app for New Japan World.
Yes.
We need that. That has to be available on PS4, Apple TV, Roku, Xbox, Chromecast. Well, Chromecast you can just do.
Yeah.
We need that.
Mobile too.
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me? Yeah, not just mobile too, but mobile like primarily. Like that's what them kids watch these days. Anyways.
They did redesign the website.
Yeah, and it's better.
It's better.
It's a good step in the right direction, but man, you need. When I type in Wrestle Kingdom 8, none comes up. Was it?
Well,
8?
Not the whole show.
Yeah, a bunch
matches
of,
came up, but not the whole show.
Yeah, I know. But then when I go back to like Wrestle Kingdom, I don't know. Like there's a lot there. Like the WWE's is so simple. I can't believe it'd be that difficult to do. It's just a lot of data entry.
Well, I mean, they get, if it's a matter of just kind of organizing the videos on there, because I hardly ever use the search function on the network. If I want WrestleMania 12, I just use the pull down menus, and they're right there.
Yeah,
they're
no,
totally easy to find.
I know exactly. And with honestly with New Japan, what I would so love is simply a pull down menu of years.
Yeah,
that's all I care about. It's like, okay, well, let me see all games in 1999. And then it'll give me, I'm fine. Give me all of it. I'll sift through all those videos. And, as long as they're labeled in English, then that's all we really need. I mean, make sure Wrestle Kingdom is, or I think they were just calling them Tokyo Dome shows then. I think it was 92, I think, is when they started referring to them as Wrestle Kingdom. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
Because this one was 11?
Maybe it was 2002. Was this 11 or 12?
Or 12, I don't remember.
I don't know. Anyways. Look, bottom line is we need an app. We need better organization of your search engine. We need a better search engine. That's it.
Yeah.
So, New Japan. I mean, like I said, it's awesome that they have a plan. It sounds like we're going to have a really, really solid.
And they're going all out for these shows in Long Beach.
Yeah.
Every belt's going to be defended. They have a new belt, a round-robin tournament for the U.S. tournament.
Looks beautiful, too.
It does. It's a good-looking belt. So far, I think still only Jay Lethal and maybe Hangman Page are announced as participants. I don't think they said how many people are actually going to be in this round-robin tournament. I would think it'd be no more than 8.
We're going to find out. We're only a couple months away.
Yep.
Let's answer some questions.
Yes.
First up from Chalupa Batman. Put together a King of Haas style 8-man tournament using 8 current or former WWE Hosses.
Well, obviously, Heavy Machinery.
Heavy Machinery.
Damo.
It's kind of a golden era for Hosses these days.
It really is.
Yeah. Demolition were both Hosses, right?
At least one of them was.
Well, who are the? Oh, I'm thinking of the Natural Disaster.
Yes,
they were Hosses.
That's 5. 3 more.
3 Moss.
Well, if we're doing all-time Hosses, you got to have Stan Hansen in there.
Stan Hansen. Was he in the WWE?
Yeah, he was.
Okay.
He was in the WWF.
Vader.
WWWF, I think.
Vader and Stan Hansen would be in the finals, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we need Uno Mas.
Would you consider Haystacks Calhoun to be a Haas?
I mean, is there a super Haas category? Because I feel like he's really Haas.
He is really Haas.
He's all the Haas. All right. And then one of them Wyndhams.
Because Baron Corbin champion Sam Haywood with Ty Dillinger already relegated to the Backlash pre-show. Are higher-ups already sick of him, or do they just not know what to do with him right now? Thanks, friendos.
There was no plan for Ty Dillinger. I am not.
Part of it, too, is there's just not enough time on SmackDown for everybody now.
A lot of people
after the shake-up.
Where's American Alpha been?
I know.
I mean, I'm totally cool with that. I'm just saying, where have they been?
So either they need to add a third hour to SmackDown. Let's get to that point. There's too much depth on SmackDown.
There's too much stuff going on. I mean, the bottom line is every week we talk about, or we hear about, read about, talk about WWE looking to sign this new talent. WWE's looking to sign that new talent. Well, each of those new talents needs time on television.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? In one way or the other.
Yep.
Man, super nerdy Sama says, I know I asked this yesterday in a way, but name your top 5 favorite wrestlers based on their facial expressions, whether it be funny, serious, etc. My number one's
The Rock.
Number 1 is The Rock.
Stone Cold should be up there too.
Stone Cold should be up there. Brock Lesnar, because he turns purple.
He does,
and that's weird.
Seth Rollins is
good, and
he
looks like a giant baby.
Remember Seth Rollins when he got disqualified but held in the belt? And he was all,
yeah.
That was great.
Let's see here. And then, so that's 4.
CM Punk was really good.
CM Punk was really good.
He was more understated than Rollins is, but still good.
Daniel Bryan, because he had a lot of GIFs of him going, yes.
There's a lot of really good.
There's a lot of really great facial expressions.
Mike Bullitt. Hey, friendos.
Mike Bullitt.
First, I want to say I'm a huge Finn Balor fan. That being said, I hate that there's no difference between default Finn and Demon Finn as far as in ring and whatnot.
Hold on.
I agree 100%.
Hold on. Is this Mike Bullitt or Larson?
Not me. What do you guys think of a storyline where the demon is almost like Ghost Rider and Finn is always trying to keep the demon at bay because he is scared of what it is capable of doing, but every once in a while the demon takes control, explaining the body paint. But with a more Aleister Black-like presence and moveset, what do you guys think? Really, I'd be cool with the demon if he just wrestled differently.
Yeah, I know.
That's all it takes.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
Mike right here is straying into House of Horrors territory with all this backstory business. So I'm going to say no to that. But I am going to say, yeah, he kicks it up a notch.
Well, here's 2 things I want to explain. One, if he is more powerful in demon mode. How come he's not demon mode all the time?
Well, we need a reason why he's not demon mode all the time.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
And then he should wrestle differently.
Yeah.
Like if being in demon mode takes something out of him, it comes at a cost, then he has to kind of just do it from time to time.
I would love for him to say, like, the only reason is because he doesn't want to sit in the makeup chair for like 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. It probably takes a lot longer than that.
It takes forever. I don't know. Sometimes it looks kind of lazy. Well, no, actually, no, it doesn't. Usually it's pretty good.
No, it's usually pretty good.
I just totally prefer Fonzie.
Fonz Balor?
Fonz Balor.
I do too.
It looks way cooler.
That new shirt of his, I really like.
The tie-dye,
the acid wash.
Yeah.
That one looks really good.
It looks comfy.
That's the huge thing because most of WWE shirts are not comfy.
No, they're not.
That one looks very comfy.
It's still real to Richard Sargent asks, Friendos, you gentlemen think it would be more interesting storyline if it was Bray Wyatt who re-broke Matt Hardy? No, I want it to be Sheamus and Cesaro. Because it needs to be like, dude kicked Jeff's tooth out of his head. So that's a good reason to break, and then it doesn't happen. No, I like it. I like it. But because Bray, again, you're straying into like House of Horrors territory.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why people...
Did you hear Simon Gotch's Cena story about final deletion?
No.
So, I guess he was on a podcast talking about this recently. And in essence, he said, Jericho grabbed a copy of Final Deletion from Matt Hardy and before it aired, and they were watching with everybody in the back. And Cena comes in midway through, and he says, "What is this?" And Simon Gotch says, just imagine the worst thing that WWE has ever done, but it's actually good. And Cena says, "Okay, come get me when you're done. I want to watch it from the beginning." And he walks away. Comes back in later. No, Simon Gotch, they wrap it up or whatever. Somebody ends up getting it to Cena. Simon Gotch walks in. It's almost done. Cena's standing there. And he looks at Cena, and Cena says, "You were absolutely right."
That's actually a really good way of describing it, too.
I know. It is. It totally is. It might be a bit more accurate to say it's like the worst thing WCW ever did, because they always had those great little cinematic movies.
Yeah.
So it's more like that, but really good. But anyways, no, I want Sheamus and Cesaro to do it because they're not the supernatural guys.
Yes, and I know a lot of people want Bray and Broken Hat to do something.
You called him Broken Hat.
Broken Matt. Sorry, I think I put together Matt and Hardy.
That's good.
Broken Matt. But I don't know. I think the juxtaposition between the two of them is too large.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that. We have a lot of video questions.
Yes, we do.
We're going to get to video questions.
First,
you guys can do your video. You guys. So the thing about video questions is at the $20 Patreon mark, you can get a video question on the show. All
right, Mr. Plainview.
First up, Zach Parks.
G'day, friendos. It's the Down Undertaker, Zach Parks here, with another video question. So I watched The Table for Three recently with AJ and Shawn Michaels on it, and talking about their match a little bit. So I got thinking about matches that we would have loved to see between superstars that fall kind of into the same bracket but just happen to be in different generations, like AJ and Shawn Michaels being two of the best wrestlers across the board, just happening to be in different generations, so the match never happened. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is dream book a match between superstars in different generations that fall into the same bracket, like two monsters, one from the 80s or the Attitude Era, against someone from the current era. So someone from now against someone from the past. Pick different genres of wrestlers, so monsters and stuff like that. My personal pick would be a triple threat underdog match between Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, and Sami Zayn. I think that match would blow the roof off the place. So let me guys know what you think, and I'll catch you later. Cheers.
Thank you, Zach Parks. So if you want to have a Haas battle between Haas's of different generations, who would it be?
I want to see
Stan Hansen versus Damo.
Oh, that's a good one. I'd want to see Vader versus Braun Strowman. That's a good. I like that one.
What about cruiserweights?
Give me Rey Mysterio Jr. in circa 1997 versus who do I really like in the cruiserweight?
What about Takahashi
versus? Oh man, that's good.
or Ricochet?
That's real. Oh, Ricochet. Give me Ricochet. That's perfect. I love that.
What about a women's match?
Ooh. What about? I'm trying to think of somebody for Asuka, but she's so like hard hitting. I don't know if I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Women's matches are kind of a tough one. What about like main eventers? We've talked before about how we wanted to see Macho Man versus HBK, like, but that was on that was something that Macho Man wanted.
Yeah.
Let's take HBK out of the equation. Who do you want to see? I want to see Macho Man versus
CM Punk.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing.
That'd have been something else.
Macho Man versus Bailey. Oh yeah. Next video question from the King of Madness, Kronos.
Hey Steven Larson, it's the King of Madness, Cronus here, and I have a question for you. So, I'm a huge CM Punk fan, all the way dating back to his Ring of Honor days, being at ECW. Always liked him, always liked what he stood for, loved his everything. And I was very sad to see him leave WWE. I understood 100%, still sad. Watched the UFC fight where it didn't go as according to plan, but I don't know what else anyone expected. Now, my question is, in the news, it was announced that a UK promoter for 5 Star Wrestling offered CM Punk $1 million to go on tour to wrestle with them. That got me thinking, how would you book CM Punk if he were to return to WWE? If they put all that behind them and Vince said, all right, Punk, we're going to put a rocket to your strap, send you to the moon, right? How would you make CM Punk return?
Thank you.
Thank you, King of Madness. How'd you book CM Punk's WWE return?
Right now, sitting here, I just remembered that we answered a similar question, or we discussed this topic maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Back when we used to we shot the show with single shots on each of us.
Wow.
And we had a really good answer for it. Now I don't remember what it was.
Oh, man, what a bummer.
I just remember the conversation.
Okay, so I would imagine it had something to do with hypocrisy of part-timers taking spots. It would have to be sort of a situation where, you know, he would have to justify being a part-timer who is taking somebody else's spot, but he'd have to be giving up somebody's spot in the process.
Yeah, or he can come back as a heel and just revel in the hypocrisy.
That'd be fantastic.
It would be.
Yeah, that'd be great. People would love it too.
Yes.
Next up, the latest addition to the Fun Wrestling roster.
Yes.
Adam Fella back with another video question. Let's see what Adam has to say.
Hey, friendos, it's your 6-star savior, Adam Fella here, returning for another video question. Fresh off of my Fun Wrestling debut in the Fatal 4-Way to determine the #1 contender for the World's Best Championship. A true 6-star match. And while I got my ass royally beat that match, I am still okay enough to present you with another video question. So, I was thinking of some fantasy booking ideas for you guys, and I think I finally came up with a pretty good one. If you guys had to book Paul Heyman betrayal of Brock Lesnar, who would he betray Brock for, and how would he go about it? Thanks, friendos. Take care.
Thank you, Adam Fella. Interesting question.
I mean, essentially, Haymon would have to. How about this? What if? Okay, so it's coming up to Great Balls of Fire. No, let's say in the run up to SummerSlam. Brock is supposed to come out. Does Paul Heyman come out when it's just Paul Heyman? Does he come out to music? Man, you know what I watched in that Invasion? That ECW intro music was so good.
It really was.
It was really good. So Heyman's music hits. He doesn't come out. Brock Lesnar's music hits. He does come out. And he's like, hey, somebody from the back that's in charge, get out here. I need to talk to you. So he's on Raw. Wouldn't be Kurt Angle. Yeah, it'd be Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle comes out. What's going on, Brock? Where's Paul? I don't know. Where's Paul? And cut to the Titantron. Paul is on a beach somewhere. He has taken all of Brock Lesnar's money. He has cleaned him out completely. He even sold his ranch out from under him.
Wow.
Brock has nothing.
Wow.
Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And he said, Brock, I've stolen all your money. You're just a big, weird-looking baby man. You can never find me. And then Brock has to take on menial jobs to earn enough money to
hire a private investigator to find out where Paul Heyman is.
And that private investigator is played by Fandango.
There you go.
He hires the fashion police.
There you go. That's great. I can't do anything better than that.
It's so stupid. Next up, Michael Berry has a question.
What's going on, friendos? It's your HR department here, Michael Berry. I had a quick question for you. I was kind of thinking about it. And in a hypothetical situation, you guys are up-and-coming wrestlers. Would you rather be a Vince McMahon / Triple H guy, constantly getting pushed and running that 50-50 risk of maybe becoming another Roman or John Cena-esque of today, but still being put in really high-level matches? Or would you rather try to be someone that the fans picked as their own, almost like a Ty Dillinger or another wrestler along those lines, where then you have a 50-50 chance of being booked properly but still having that fan love? Love to hear you guys' opinions about it.
Thank you, Michael Berry.
Thank you, Michael. This is a great question. I love this. So, would you rather show up and have Vince McMahon say, you know what? You're going to be the next Roman Reigns. Okay, Vince. Or you show up, oh, I hear you've done really well for yourself on the indie circuit.
I have, Vince.
Well, good luck to you. You got to grab that brass ring.
Okay, Vince, I will.
All right. Who would you rather be?
The latter.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know you're not going to be anything until you've been in for 10 years, you leave for a while, come back to be a part-timer.
Probably.
That's your best chance at being anything.
Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what my background was before coming to WWE.
So what you're saying is you want to be like relegated to the pre-show match
no,
on SmackDown.
What I'm saying is if I came in never having wrestled before to the Performance Center, got signed on there, stayed in the Performance Center for a couple of years before making my NXT debut, being in NXT for 3 years, and then coming up to the main roster, that might be a possibility. But if I'm someone like Kevin Owens, who spent a dozen plus years in the Indies, built a brand for himself with NXT, was booked like a huge star immediately, got brought up to the main roster, had the same thing happen, that's a far different scenario.
Yeah.
But I would never say that Kevin Owens is always treated like a star, but he was never pushed like Roman Reigns was.
Yeah.
So assuming, so there's just different scenarios to contemplate. If it's purely, say, you're like Roman Reigns was a football player, collegiate football player, decided to take up pro wrestling. You're developed totally in-house by WWE. And if I was posed with this question, I would probably take the Roman Reigns route. But if I'm, say someone like Kevin Owens, where I have developed a brand for myself out in the Indies working for years, or Seth Rollins, and I come to WWE and they appreciate the talent I have, then I would feel totally comfortable saying, okay, I don't need your monster push. I can build upon my brand here on the main roster and do totally fine for myself.
I guess the question is really, who would you rather be chosen by, Vince or Triple H? Because all those guys from the Indies, I mean, those are all Triple H, William Regal guys. You know, and then there's Vince, and he has his guys that he likes.
Yeah.
Good question, though.
Yeah. What's your answer?
I mean, it's you just, you took the logical route for that. I agree with you. You'd be hard pressed ever to say, no, Vince, I don't want to be your main guy.
Oh,
I don't want to be your biggest guy. So, it's like you said, if I've spent, I would rather, knowing myself, and I'm the type, I think I would like to, I'm fine paying dues. I'm fine doing that.
Yes.
And so I would rather build something of my own first to establish who I am, and then come in, because then you've got sort of the Drew McIntyre. We mentioned this NXT thing. That dude comes off like a guy who doesn't need the WWE, but understands that the WWE definitely needs him. Now, that may not be literally the truth, but, you know, that's the way he carries himself.
Yeah.
And that matters a lot.
Yeah.
And so I'd rather go to the WWE knowing I've got a whole sea of options if the WWE doesn't know what to do with me, and I'm not afraid to walk away from that.
Yes.
As opposed to, you know, coming out of football and then having to learn everything coming up, and then, okay, well, and at that point, you don't have really the ability to say, hold on, I don't want to do it this way. I've been around. I know I can do it this way better.
Yes.
That's the thing. And I honestly think that's kind of the thing with Roman Reigns, that the guy doesn't take enough risks.
Yeah.
TGX. Let's see what TGX, Game Review TGX, has to say.
So, this is how Rocky Maivia felt, eh? Interesting. What's up, friendos? You know why I'm here. You know who I am. Let's just get this fucking over with for once, alright? So, Great Balls of Fire is officially a thing in our universe, and it's possibly the worst pay-per-view name in history. So, not really a question, more of a challenge. I want each of you friendos to come up with 5 pay-per-view names that's worse than Great Balls of Fire. Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, TGX.
Oh my goodness, look at that. The Pariah. Getting blasted in the YouTube comments, and then it's really affecting him. I can see that. Anyways, check out his Game Review channel. 5 pay-per-view names worse than Great Balls of Fire, Larson.
That have actually happened, or that we could come up with? I don't remember. Because we watched all the video questions before we start the show, but we don't roll them and then answer them right afterwards.
Right, exactly.
Through the magic of editing, it makes it seem that way.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
So when I wrote down the questions, there's 5 pay-per-view names worse than Great Balls of Fire.
I'm going to say let's come up, or let's not think of. Let's think of ones that have actually happened that are worse.
That's what I was going to do too.
In Your House is a terrible name.
Yeah, it is.
Was there? Hold on a second. Was there ever a Prime In Your House?
I think there was the first one was just
yeah. They gave away a house.
Yeah,
they gave away a house.
Yeah,
that's a terrible, terrible name for a pay-per-view.
But it's very nice to give away a house.
Wild Thing.
Yeah, not good.
Wild Thing's a terrible name. I don't even know what is a Starcade. Starcade's a terrible name.
It is, but it's become, or it was for a while, iconic.
I know, but you break it down, what the hell is it really?
It's a mashup of the word star and arcade.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Give me some more crap ones.
There's a lot of them in WCW towards the end there.
Yeah. Well, there are some cool ones too. Sin, that's a cool one.
Yeah.
Greed, that's a cool one.
Those are just like Seven Deadly Sin type stuff.
Yeah. Roadblock, End of the Line.
It's too many words.
It's A, too many words. B, Tom Petty song. No, Traveling Wilbury song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next from Christopher K. See what Christopher has to say.
Steve Larson, big fan, first time Patreon. Says Hardcore Christopher K. When I heard that there's the possibility that Adam Cole, baby, might be coming to NXT, I thought it was awesome. And then I thought, you know what, WWE has a bad tendency to ruin guys, especially people like him that, let's face it, Adam Cole's gimmick is Adam Cole. Now, sometimes they get it right. Look at what they did with Tommy End. Outstanding as Aleister Black. Then there's like Chris Hero, and they decided to dress him up as a Space Jam reject. And after deciding that that wasn't going to work, they decided to put him in a Sacramento Kings uniform. And this is the first time that Oliver Miller actually looked trim and fit in a Kings uniform. So good job with that one. So my question to you is, best case scenario, worst case scenario, what does the WWE do with Adam Cole? Are they going to let him just be him? Or what kind of terrible gimmick could they give him?
Thank you, Christopher K.
Thank you. Best case scenario for Adam Cole is
he wins all the titles, baby.
Well, obviously
upon
his debut,
and has a live 3-way sex show. Him, a fine-looking woman, and the debuting Kyle O'Reilly all mix it up sexually in the ring, Larson.
Is this on the main roster in NXT?
Well, obviously, it's no. That's the main event of WrestleMania. It's
Okay.
a live sex show, not even a match.
Okay. What's the worst case scenario for Adam Cole?
During his first match, he gets decapitated. Like some horrific accident. Could you imagine if somebody got decapitated? Remember that time Seth Rollins almost got impaled by Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
What if that was like? What if that was?
No,
where
it was
his-
a cage. It wasn't Hell in a Cell.
Oh, okay, cage. What if that was like where his neck was and he got decapitated?
That would probably be worst case
really
scenario.
slowly, so
Yeah.
you heard him cry out in pain.
And it'd be on Raw or something like that. Wrestle was alive.
That would be horrible.
That would be awful.
Oh my gosh.
All right, let's speak about it in a purely wrestling sense.
It's like an XPW stuff.
Worst case scenario for Adam Cole.
Oh, Ty Dillinger.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say the same thing.
Oh, is that horrible? That we consider Ty Dillinger a worst case scenario for an incoming talent? That's so bad. That's so sad.
I know it is, because Ty is and was still extremely over. I know. They're just not doing anything with him. And I think it's largely because there's not enough time on the show.
Very sad. Best case for Adam Cole. What do you think a realistic best case is?
I think best case, after a year in NXT, he gets the NXT title, holds it for 8 months, gets brought up to main, is put in the Intercontinental or U.S. title scene right away.
Give us a name. Just best case is Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But without the injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here.
Carlos Hackworth.
All right, here we go. Carlos.
Hey, what's going on, friendos? Seeing as how we are about halfway through the 2017 year, and I just want to know what are you guys' expectations as far as WWE returns, call-ups, and main roster debuts. As far as them not going to NXT and just coming straight to the main roster. And also to answer your question about my booking. It's pretty much I'm booking the matches, who is the one that takes over as far as who goes over, heel turns, face turns, championship matches. So if you had any advice on the way that you would go about a heel turn or face turn, that'd be great. Thanks, friendos. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Carlos.
So Carlos is booking a show, and he's asking for advice.
Well, we said dusty finish.
Yeah, Carlos, everything dusty finishes. Give like whoever sucks up to you most, give them the title shot. Whoever gives you eye contact and respects your authority, they go over. Abuse your power, Carlos. This is wrestling. Abuse your power.
He has a question though too.
Let me ask you something. Do you think Carlos got this indie booking gig by referencing the fact that we have referred to him as a low-level WWE writer? As he said, no, look, I'm a low-level WWE writer. Do you want me booking your show or not? And they're like, really? And he's like, watch this video here. And then we say...
A professional wrestling podcast going in Raw.
Yeah. And then they're like, holy crap. If that's the case, good job, Carlos.
Yeah.
If it's not the case, even better job because, man, you got by on your credentials. Good job. Anyways, what's this question? Expectations the rest of the year. For a good count out.
For debuts, call-ups.
Top 10 predictions for the rest of 2017. For the second half of 2017.
Okay.
We're not going to do it right now.
No, because we're still in the first half of 2017.
Let's throw a couple out there.
So debuts, obviously Adam Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole. Debut.
It'd be interesting to see if what women debut officially in the women's tournament, like Candice LeRae. I think that'd be very exciting.
That would be exciting. Call up. Is Asuka going to be called up between now and December 31st?
She should be.
I agree. She should be. I think she will too.
Can you think of anybody not currently signed to WWE that could sign and jump straight to the main roster?
That is tricky. That is, yeah, I can. Okada?
That's not under contract.
Tanahashi?
That's not under contract with another promotion. Because, yeah, Kenny Omega could, but he's not going to.
Okay, so, like, legitimately, he's kind of the only name that I can think of that could. I'll say this.
What about Mike Bennett? There's rumors that he was signing with WWE and that also he could be debuting on SmackDown.
Yeah, I could see he seems ready for main roster. I mean, look, he could easily go through NXT, but he's got somebody with him that has already been on main roster, Maria Kanellis Bennett, I believe her name is. By the way, I totally didn't realize that she was the dancing booty in the GIF of AJ Styles and Carl Anderson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's Maria.
Huh.
Yeah. Because somebody showed like the entire clip of it, and I was like, "Oh, it's her, cool." There aren't a lot of others, but Mike Bennett's a good name.
And if he went to NXT, there's too many.
There's too many of him already.
Top of the card talents.
There's too many guys exactly like him, but in their own unique ways. Aleister Black, he's going to get called up by the end of the year. If rumors are to be believed, yes. We would prefer no.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Right? Yeah. You're going to say no. You're going to say they're going to hold off on that.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm going to say I don't know. Jury is still out. I want to see a couple more matches and see if there's any indication if there's a direction for him.
I want to see him go through a real feud in NXT first.
Well, that's going to be the first question.
Yes. Next question from Shane Strickland.
Hello! Friendo Universe and people all alike. It's your knockout artist in training, Shane Strickland, with Adam. My son's named after Edge. Steve, you should have paid attention to Edge more. 2 questions. 1, what's the chances of Cassius Ohno and what's his ceiling in the WWE, along with Tyler Breeze? I've always compared Tyler Breeze to Shawn Michaels, and lately I've called Fandango his Marty Jannetty. Hopefully he does soar to great heights. I think he could do it if WWE used him right. The Tyler Breeze Prince Pretty seemed like Shawn Michaels' original gimmick when he was coming out with the mirror and Sherry Martel, which makes me happy. Another second question is, who have you always given your stamp of approval to, and where do you want them to go? How far do you want them to go? Mine is Samoa Joe. He's been my favorite wrestler, rocking the Samoa Joe shirt. Always am. Samoa Joe, he needs to hold that WWE title eventually. Thanks.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you.
And Adam. Can't forget about Adam there. The ceiling. Okay, so the ceiling of Cassius Ohno and Tyler Breeze. Shane, I have to say, I'm not seeing it with Tyler Breeze. I love him as Prince Pretty. I love him as part of the Fashion Police. I'm not sure I see much of a ceiling past that. It's a good ceiling. They can have a long run. It's a very successful tag team.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticizing.
I'm not going to go that far because we've had 3 episodes of the Fashion Files.
Yeah,
we have not really we haven't seen the full extent of Tyler Breeze's talents. I don't think on the main roster. I kind of think what we've seen in NXT is what we got. Like he doesn't have that thing to catch fire with. I just don't see it. I don't know.
He's very good, but he's a role player.
But he's also the banker.
Fair enough. He does have Sea Creature at his disposal.
Yes, so
that's true.
Don't count him out, Steve. He could be a main event player yet.
Cassius Ohno, his ceiling's all over the map. He could be NXT champion. He could be WWE champion. Or he could be Performance Center coach. I have no idea. I think he could be any of those things.
Yeah,
though,
he's that good.
To be honest with you.
He's really good.
Like, it all depends on what they see in him, but he can do anything, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He also asks, who are we fans of that we like to kind of see get,
Dillinger.
Achieve great success?
Ty Dillinger.
Yes.
In terms of people who, we haven't seen. I mean, we have any number of guys in NXT that we really like. We just literally mentioned Cassius Ohno. I'm a huge Aleister Black fan. I know you are too.
Almas.
We love Almas. But in terms of guys who have already come up, like Ty, man, boy, oh boy. Patrick Sparks, our old friendo Patrick Sparks. Let's see what Patrick has to say.
Hey friendos, Pat here. So being on the road is a big part of the WWE. And with being on the road comes a lot of experiences, and that being said, there's a lot of road stories in the WWE, WWF, and all the other respective promotions. This being said, what are some of your favorite road stories? Who's been a part of those? And as a second question, who do you think is the best person to tell a road story, whether they were involved or not, due to their charisma, just the way they tell it, their expressions, or whatnot? What do you guys think? Thanks, friendos.
Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick. WWE has that great animated show
Yeah.
where they talk about road stories. It's a lot of fun.
Mick Foley's first book is filled with great road stories.
All of Chris Jericho's books are really, really great. One of my favorite tellers of road stories is Michael Hayes, though. When you see him on like Legends with JBL, it's a really fantastic episode. I could watch Michael Hayes talk about the old times all day long. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Let's see here. CJ Reebley has a question. Let's see what CJ has to say.
Hey, friendo, CJ here. So with Kurt Angle and the Hardy Boys back, as of right now, who do you think would make a really good showcase for 2K18? My money is on Kurt Angle. Just a lot of history, a lot of cool matches with that guy. That'd be a cool showcase to play. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.
Thank you, CJ.
Interesting question. Who do you want to see? Who do you want to see for the 2K18? He mentions Kurt Angle.
Yes.
There's a problem with that, and it's a problem that 2K, one of their representatives mentioned recently in that, it was in response to the Suplex City thing.
Yeah.
How Brock Lesnar, they really wouldn't be able to do a career thing with him, mainly because the number of wrestlers that they would need
to get their rights.
Because of, like, for example, like at the time anyways, he debuted, I think, destroying the Hardy Brothers. They were the Hardy Boys. They were not in the company at the time. You have Kurt Angle, who wasn't in the company at the time.
Yeah.
There's the Benoit thing, because I think they fought a bunch. Eddie ended up being in DLC, I think. So I guess he wouldn't be that much of a problem. But he also fought, I think, Hogan. Like, there's any number of guys. Was Edge in the latest game? Were Edge and Christian there? I don't think they were.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah. So there's I think it's just a number of wrestlers that it's probably just cost prohibitive to do certain guys.
Yeah.
And Kurt Angle's kind of there with Brock Lesnar too, you know. So it's unfortunate, but that's sort of the case.
Yeah.
But who they could, if there was another out of the box sort of, or is there somebody who they could do a showcase with?
I mean, they could do one for CM Punk. He's not going to get involved in the game, but there's enough people that he feuded with that's still employed with the company.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That it would be possible, but it's never gonna. It's not going to happen. At least not for 2K18.
No, I'm trying to think of somebody kind of realistic though. Somebody who they could do that with. I mean, even they cracked me out with the Stone Cold one for the year before. They did the career thing, which was fine, but when it came to HBK versus Stone Cold, they had Enforcer instead of Mike Tyson, and they did not have his likeness at all. It was pretty funny, actually. I'm trying to think with Kurt Angle.
Could you go back further, say do a Ric Flair showcase or something like that?
That would be fantastic. That would be really, really cool. I mean, they're on good terms, I think, with Dusty's people. So yeah, I think that would be that. I mean, we had WCCW in the latest one because of the Freebirds.
Did they ever do
Terry Gordy's estate wouldn't let him be in the game?
Did they ever do a Monday Night War showcase type thing?
Oh man, that'd be really cool.
Because I know they did Attitude Era, right? They did an Attitude Era showcase, but not a
Monday Night Wars would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Who would they need for that they don't already have? I'm trying to think. I mean, because you have Goldberg, he'd probably sign on for
Sting.
Sting. You have him. I mean, guys who are already sort of been signed, and we just need some sort of an extension.
Mm-hmm.
Sting, Flair's there.
Mm-hmm.
Is Hogan in the latest game?
No.
Oh, that's right.
No.
I keep on forgetting about that one. Oh, they need Karl Malone and Jay Leno, man, and Dennis Rodman
and David Arquette.
Oh God,
and Jeff Jarrett.
And Vince Russo.
Oh,
you need
dear.
Vince Russo and Eric Bischoff.
All right, no, that's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. Adam Mayhem has a question. We love Adam Mayhem, the new
Larson Libre champion in Fun Wrestling.
Let's see what he has to say.
Buenas tardes, Friendo Universe. Bienvenidos a Chit Chat with the Champ. That's right, the Larson Libre champion, Adam Mayhem, is here. Now, I got a quick question, and to see if you guys see things the same way I do. With this whole kendo stick on a pole match, which I'm actually looking forward to because it should be fun. But isn't Bliss like 4.5 feet tall, and Bayley is taller than her? Like, how are they gonna set up that kendo stick so that Bliss doesn't have to like jump from the third rope and try to get the kendo stick? Or do you guys think that they will use this whole thing as part of the story being told throughout the match? Anyway, guys, the champ is out.
Thank you, champion Adam Mayhem.
Thank you, Adam Mayhem.
We were literally cracking up during this question. He's like, Alexa Bliss is short. How is she going to reach the kendo pole? I don't know, man. Your guess is as good as mine. They're going to have to bring it down a little bit. I mean, she'll have to stand. I'm assuming she'll be able to reach it from the top turnbuckle. She'll have to get up on the top turnbuckle.
So Alexa Bliss is 5'1".
Yeah, right. 4'11".
And Bayley is 5'6".
Yeah.
So 5-inch height difference.
Yeah. Well, she'll just have to climb to the top turnbuckle and hope that she can reach it. Maybe she's going to get Nia Jax to help her out.
It's entirely possible.
I think it's going to be a Nia Jax
factor.
factor.
Is a decent, a good idea, Steve.
Good idea.
Very plausible.
The good idea. Yeah, anyways, thanks for all your video questions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for tuning in. This has been The Dirt Sheet. And watch us. So tomorrow on Saturday, we've got...
Count out.
Sunday morning, we've got our WWF Invasion review. So watch Invasion on the network.
We're going to record that right away, right after we're done with this.
And then, of course, Sunday evening, we're going to be...
eating pizza and watching Backlash.
That's right. So come join us, please.
Yes, please.
Until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.